Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Martha Simmons with another session of Preaching and Preachers on Facebook Live. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Come on in and let me know that you are out there. It's a dreary Monday in Atlanta, but it's about 70 degrees, so we will take that. Good afternoon. Come on in and let me know that you are out there. Come on in. Come on in. All right, I see people starting to come in. Let me know that you are out there. All right, all right. Good morning to my people on the West Coast who get up early and join me. Good afternoon to my people on the East Coast, shouting out the people in the Midwest and certainly those in the dirty South. Come on in. Come on in and let me know that you are out there. It's a Potpourri Monday, which means I'm going to say a little about a lot of things. Come on in. Angela Maxwell Brown. All right. Good to have you with me. And when you come in, Herbert Ponder, good to have you with me. When you come in, type in the name of another person who you know will be helped by this broadcast. They can jump on right now, or it will be up on my page for a couple of weeks. And I'm also now on YouTube. I keep forgetting to say that, but I am on YouTube, and within a month or so, I'm looking to move probably at least 75 of my previous broadcast to YouTube. Jennifer Dent, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon. Good to have you with me. Come on in. Come on in, Reverend Casey. Good to have you as always. All right, all right. Type in the name of another person. It's Potpourri Monday. People always tell me that they really enjoy the Potpourri broadcast. So this is one today. Come on in and let me know that you are out there. Let me move some things. All right, get comfortable. Come on in. All right, all right. Let's go ahead. Uh, Reverend Lori Baynard, good to have you with me. All right, I'm seeing folk I haven't seen in a minute. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Virginia Beach. All right, all right. Dr. Butler, Jacqueline Butler, good to have you. Anthony Neal. All right, all right, all right, all right. I am loving this. Earl Washington Jr. All right, Reverend Boyd. All right, when you come in, type in the name of another person who you know will be helped by this broadcast. Dr. Reginald Bell, good to have you with me. All right, let's get started. As always, I am. And I ask that you would pray for those who are sick. Pray for those who are experiencing a season of bereavement. And today, pray for our teachers at every level, from preschool to the university level. There is so much happening in education that causes a great concern. Pray for teachers and pray for students. All right, all right. Potpourri Monday. Where do I want to start? Let me start with Cory Booker. Let me start with Cory Booker. We all know that Cory Booker spoke to the Senate for 25 hours, breaking the consecutive hours, breaking the Senate speaking record of that racist Strom Thurmond. And it was a really feel good moment. If you were like me, you were tuning in to hear parts, then going back to your work, then going back, etc. And then as he got closer, I think more people tuned in as he got closer to that 24th hour. Um, Again, it was a feel good moment, and we really do need some feel good moments. I'm not one of those people who are going to say, uh, people are doing too much dancing with those fans. Okay. I'm not that person. I am not that person. I can't get enough of the dancing because for some, that's all they can do to keep from crying. For others, it's just an exhibition of joy. And as I said, we need some more feel good moments. So, in the case of Cory Booker, some were just elated that the Democrats stepped up. They have been calling for that. And then others said it was just performative. Be clear, all of politics and much of life is performative. Okay? When you don't want to do some of the things that your boss asks you to do, you do them anyway with your face fixed a certain way. That's performative. That's performative. When you don't want to be bothered with your spouse or your kids, but you put on a smile and go along anyway, that's performative. Most of life is performative. So that's no big deal or surprise that the moment was performative. Unfortunately, Mr. Booker ended up being like the cow who gave a great bucket of milk and then turned right around and kicked it over. Because in less than 24, 25 hours, he was online begging for money. He couldn't let the moment settle. But worse than that, he then turned around and voted to keep supplying arms to Israel. And they have already wiped out Gaza. There's no reason, there really isn't, for more arms. There's just no reason. Israel has clearly decided there will not be a two-state solution, and they've wiped out Gaza. There's nothing left. Someone said maybe they think they can re-kill people. There's nothing left. Okay. So Mr. Booker's words about the moral thing, about doing what John Lewis didn't match his actions when he voted. And people are right to feel let down by his actions. Some think that his vote on Israel was pragmatic, maybe. But what it was not a moral vote. There is still such thing as right and wrong. He said it, and I'm repeating it. There is such a thing as right and wrong. And he did the right thing, and then he turned around and he did the wrong thing. But Mr. Booker is just a politician. I don't really want you to get hung up on Mr. Booker. He's just a politician. We are the people. We are the people. This is our country. We, not the politicians, are the standard bearers. Yes, we certainly hope that our politicians will have high standards, but we set the standard. We set the standard. We are the ones to watch. Let us make sure that our words and our actions match. That's our job. Let's also learn that there's such a thing as nuance. Okay. So make sure you get your details right, and also know that two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. But the bottom line is that morality always matters, no matter the moment. Morality matters. Those who lived during slavery were not victims of their time, as I've seen some racists try to suggest in history books. Those who were enslaved, they knew it was morally wrong. But there were some free whites who also knew it was wrong. Okay. So no one gets off the hook historically for their behavior during slavery. You can't say, oh, those people did it because everyone was doing it. No, everyone wasn't doing it. And even if they were, wrong is still wrong. And who can get confused? Okay? Except people on the wrong side about how wrong it is to enslave another person. Who gets that wrong? If you do, say you got it wrong. There is still a right and a wrong. There's some things we can disagree about. Okay? Everyone can have opinions, but right is right and wrong is still wrong. If you are a child of God, a person of the divine, get on the right side, which is God's side, not the Republican side or the Democratic side, but get on God's side and stay on that side. And also, as you are standing for God, if you get something wrong, say you got it wrong and apologize and move to your next moment of doing the right thing. Okay? Morality matters. Now, next, I want to talk about building a resistance vacation Bible school. That's right. Building a resistance vacation Bible school, at least for this and maybe the next 3 years, a resistance Bible school. Your kids are smart enough to learn that they can fight too. This is their future. The impact of the next few years and what will happen to institutions will rain heaviest on them. So they can start now getting into the fight. Plus, they need to learn early that even when we get it right, we can lose it. So the fight never ends because sin is always prevalent. The book says the devil left Jesus for a season, meaning the devil was coming right back. Okay? So teach your children about resistance this year and they will get it. Now, how do you do it? You begin, and this is part of resistance, you begin by churches working together this year and moving forward. We don't need 100 individual vacation Bible schools in one city. That's ridiculous. As difficult as this moment is, we don't need that. Okay. It may be the case that you have a very large church and you work together with two smaller sister churches. Or it may be 3 or 4 small churches that come together and say, we are going to combine our resources to serve our children and our community. Just remember, a part of the season of resistance is collaboration. It's collaboration. We have enough superstars trying to go it on their own. We won't make it like that in this season. Then, as a part of your Resistance Vacation Bible School, ask a couple of vendors who your church has supported to support you. That's right. We don't need these businesses in our communities if they don't want to turn around and give back to the community that keeps them going. Okay. So start to send out letters to vendors, to businesses that can support you. You know what you need. You might need food. You might need paper, scissors, crayons, glue, computers, whatever you need. Start asking your vendors for it right now. Send them a letter. And if you are watching this broadcast and you say, Doc, that makes sense, but I'm not that great at writing and I ain't got a secretary. If you need a letter, hit my inbox. Hit my inbox and I will give you a sample letter. I did Vacation Bible School for years and I know how to ask vendors for money, and I've helped others do it too. All you got to do, like I said, make sure that you hit my inbox and also know that AI can help you create a letter. Then, as a part of Resistance, okay, invite kids from everywhere. During this moment, and I would say all moments, we can no longer afford to only care for the kids already inside the church. All kids need care. I don't care if they're not a member of your church or not a member of anybody's church. Invite them anyway. Tell your kids, invite your friends. This is a safe place, a fun place. Let them come from everywhere, okay? And, so many kids won't have anything to do, and their parents and grandparents will appreciate your helping them fill the time for 5 or 6 days. That 5 or 6 days, that's a great help. So invite kids from everywhere. Kids in your church, kids you see walking down the street, kids you see at the supermarket. Invite kids from everywhere. Create cards or flyers, put it all over TikTok, Instagram, etc. Go where the kids are. Go looking for them. Go look. That's a part of Resistance. We have to find the kids who need help and then offer it. Okay? Someone suggested a Resistance summer school. If you can do that, that's great too. But I know we're doing VBS. Okay, we're doing that in so many places. Then also connect with the school, 1 or 2 that are closest to your church. Go see them in person and invite them to attend. Teachers can attend, schools, paraprofessionals, everybody. And if it's possible, especially if you have a larger church, adopt a school. Adopt a school. You are after the kids. Then, as a part of Resistance, it's Resistance Vacation Bible School. Teach your kids the Bible, and you also teach them that they don't have to search for Black people in the Bible because it's an Afro-Asiatic book. It's not a book full of white people, okay? Teach them that. That will help with their understanding of themselves, their culture, and it will inflame their spirit of resistance, okay? You don't even have to say that you're teaching it out loud. By and by, the kids will get it. Also, for Resistance Vacation Bible School, you can invite entire families. Doesn't have to be just kids. You might want to do some things with parents and children, or you might do some things separately. You know, the adults are learning the Bible, and after that, for recreation, they're learning how to do boots on the ground and the fan dance, right? There's just so many ways that you can do this. If you can dream it, imagine it, go ahead and do it. And certainly, even if you don't decide to include adults, at least include them on the final day. Allow the kids to show off, allow the parents to salute them. Okay? Make this your resistance vacation Bible school the most loving and fun VBS you have ever had. And the pastor must show up at some point during this year's VPS, and then take a lot of pictures. Take a lot of pictures. Kids love taking pictures. And these pictures, which you're going to post, they're going to post, they will fuel them later and they'll fuel you later. Just make a big to do. You know how we make a big to do out of the pastor's anniversary and the church revival? Make a big to do out of your VBS, Vacation Bible School. I don't know why I can't say VBS. Make it a big deal. Also, make it blackety black. Make it that way. If you are a black church, no white Jesus in any of your pictures, no pink people. And you can use Canva and other resources to create many of your materials without spending a great deal of money. You can even do a wall. You can have a wall. You know, you've done Vacation Bible School. And in this instance, you can do a wall of resistance saying, you know, rest is resistance. Play is resistance. Poetry writing is resistance. Every right we have to keep winning. Your village is black. Love it. No government will ever save us. A wall of resistance saying, and you can keep those up for a long time. Okay? So let's just make sure we make the most of Vacation Bible School and do what you can to be supportive of it, no matter who you are. Support someone's Vacation Bible School this year. Now I want to say a little bit about Bible study. I talk about Bible study during several broadcasts throughout the year because I believe it's so critically important. I posted this week and I asked, do preachers still teach, meaning pastors, still teach their own Bible studies? Because I've got so much evidence that so many no longer do it. And over 100 people responded, and I was delighted to see that most of those who responded said, I still teach my own Bible study. Then some responded and said, I give my associate clergies opportunities to learn to teach as well, but I do teach my own Bible study, but there's still a lot of pastors who don't. But teaching the Bible is always critical for the church, and it's especially critical now. Okay, it's especially critical now. This is a time where we need to teach the new cultural words and the ways of this world and show the connection to the Bible. That's right. Every generation brings with it new cultural sayings, new approaches to life. We need to talk about those and show the connection to the Bible. So this is a difficult period. Guess what? suffering is in the Bible. We are under an empire. Guess what? There are empires in the Bible. There are wicked leaders and weak leaders in and followers in the Bible. So you look at the cultural moment and you show that the Bible is always relevant. There are people in the Bible and in our culture. Remember, you have to connect the two, okay, with who are doing little with much. That's important too. There are a lot of people out there fighting. They are resisting and they're doing it with very little. Guess what? You can find those same stories in the Bible. And you can actually use AI and ask it for cultural lessons from 2025. Okay. And then you can put in your right prompts and ask the scriptures, ask that it show you the scriptures that match those moments. And also, and this is really important, ask that it only give you responses from academically informed African American sources. You may want to ask it to give you sources only from women. You may want to ask it to give you sources that are connected to African traditional religion. You can use AI, okay, to help you do that. We all had to learn, okay? We all had to learn how to use AI to find these African American sources. And so, especially for those who are new to teaching the Bible, and we all had to learn, okay, you can do it too. Just do it. Don't fail to teach Bible study. Let AI help you, let books help you, and certainly let other preachers help you. Bible study. And people don't study their Bible at home often enough. We know that. They say if you want to hide something from a person, give them a Bible and put it inside. Knowledge of the Bible, though, will help calm some of the fears people have about this cultural moment. It will, if they know what's in the Bible and what it says about wicked cultural moments. Knowledge of the Bible will help people clearly see so they can say, oh, this has happened before. This has happened before. And then use the Bible, use Bible study to give people vocabulary list and to update the biblical language, okay? No one still says hark or hallowed or bewitched, okay? Which has nothing to do with witchcraft, by the way. Teach people the words of the faith in their language while teaching them resistance and building their faith. If you want people with decolonized minds, you have to teach the Bible that way. So if you are teaching your Bible and you are using a bunch of conservative, racist, white men and pretending, you don't know who's who, guess what? You are not helping decolonize the people that you are serving, okay? Give people the best information. And yes, be culturally specific. You're not teaching all people, you're teaching your people. Be culturally specific. And they don't need more lessons from white men. I don't care if they're conservative or liberal. We don't need more of those lessons. Thank you. We just don't. So, in teaching people the Bible, you might want to just start with maps. Because, like I said, you're doing some decolonization. Start with the maps. That's how I first figured out that there were a whole bunch of Black people in the Bible. Because if you read those early maps, you can see the Afro-Asiatic lands of the Bible. No white people in those lands. Teach people the maps. Now, you can say, if you want to say to them, this is the current country, okay? But show them the countries that are in the Bible. Call them out, point to them on a map, right? This is hard work, but it's necessary. We still have Black folk who think that Moses was not married to a Black woman, okay? They think he was married to the white woman that you see. Well, I forget what the name of the story that comes on every year around Easter, where Charleston Heston is the lead. They think those people are the people, okay? And they're not. And they are not. I don't care how many history books told you. The truth is in the Bible. You have to decolonize people, okay? This is a moment to teach people how to survive and then thrive using the Word of God as a primary tool. Yes, there are so many books. Someone told me the name of it. It's the 10 Commandments. Thank you. I had a senior moment there. But this is a moment. This is a great tool. I grew up poor. And I'm talking rats and roaches poor. I was born in a shotgun house, not a hospital. And one of the things that the Bible helped a poor little Black girl from Mississippi do is see that the world belonged to God and that I belong to God. And so therefore, anything that God allowed was possible for me. The Bible, with Bible teachers who didn't have colonized minds, helped me to see that, okay? We definitely need to spend a lot of energy this year and for the next few years, and some would say forever, on teaching Bible study. It's that critically important. I love what Dr. Brad Braxton does. He's a PhD in New Testament, and he actually teaches Bible study at a level where if you attend certain classes, pass the test, he gives you a certificate. And this is for anybody in the church who wants to do it, okay? You can teach Bible study at that level too. One for kids, another for adults, people who are familiar with the Bible, people who are not familiar with the Bible. Just do Bible study. Just do Bible study. It is critically important. And finally, in terms of teaching Bible study, as you prepare for it, also know this is just a benefit. This is not what you're doing it for. It makes you wiser and more prepared as a preacher. It does. I often tell young clergy, connect your Bible study to what you want to preach. Do a sermon series. Teach the Bible study from a particular book, and then preach. Same book, okay? Preach from the same book. Just make life easier. makes you smarter. All right? All right. Bible study. Now, let me say a little bit about the Abysinnian Baptist Church of New York saga. We've all likely heard something about this, and if you haven't, you can Google it and see it. We've heard about this situation, and many have expressed opinions. And now we've reached a point where the court has dismissed the lawsuit that was brought by Dr. Ebony Terman Marshall. And I'm wondering, what have we learned? What have we learned? For me, the main point of this matter is not the lawsuit. Definitely not the lawsuit. Most of you don't even know what the church was charged with doing. Okay, you don't even know. The main point is not the lawsuit. And I know for many of you, the main point is that somebody sued a church. You believe that it should have been worked out in-house, that the Bible says that, and that's the way to go. Okay? But we also know that as much as we say we believe that, if certain things happen to us or to someone we love, we too will file a lawsuit. We won't work it out in the church. So don't be two-faced and say, okay, I get to pick what the church, what stays in-house and what goes to court. All right. Remember that. Because let me tell you something. If someone abuses your child, sexually assaults your child, they're going to court. They're going to court. You can say what you want to say, but they're going to court. Okay. I believe it's not about the lawsuit. I believe it's the nature of the lawsuit that we keep missing. And it has concerned me because I watched us just go on a tirade, especially at the end of last year, about this. That's one thing we keep missing, is the nature of the lawsuit. A woman clergy accused a church of discrimination based on gender. That was the nature of her lawsuit. Now, let's pretend that churches have never discriminated against women based on gender. We know that's a lie. Are they still doing it? Absolutely. They are still doing it. Okay. However, many women, probably most women, just take it or they leave the church in question. They can't afford or they don't want the headache of a lawsuit. I don't think Dr. Terman wanted it either. In fact, she said on more than one occasion on broadcast, she said it in post, she said it on the Women of Color in Ministry broadcast, that what she wanted was an apology. And the matter could have ended sooner had the church simply apologized. But of course, it's what they would have had to apologize for. So that's what the lawsuit was about. They were sued for discrimination on the basis of gender. They were not sued because she wanted them to make her the pastor. Okay? They were not sued because she was mad about the just not being the candidate that was called to the church. They sued. They were suing. She sued for discrimination based on gender. Here's something else that I hope we have learned. People who believe that they have been harmed have a right to fight it however they wish and for as long as they wish. If you're tired of hearing about it, then don't give any attention to it. Scroll by if you see passages, don't comment. If you see posts, rather. But they have a right. They have a right. Stop telling women how to fight those who harm them. Stop telling LGBTQIA people how to fight and how long to fight those who harm them. Okay? People have a right to the fight, and they have a right to take it as far as they want to. Also, and this has to do with gender as well, we should get our facts straight instead of posting our feelings. Get your facts straight. One man after another, joined by a few women, posted, "She can't make a church call her as its pastor." She never said that. But you all who were against her doing this, you decided to impose that on her. There were posts. She's delusional. She's hysterical. Here's what I hope we've learned again. When a woman raises an issue of injustice, too often, especially men do this, but there are women too, we make it a character issue. She's arrogant, delusional, hysterical, not saved, don't know the Bible, etc., etc. Instead of focusing on the issue or finding out what it was, we jump to make it a character issue because we believe that by tearing down someone's character, okay, we can silence them, right? I remember early on in ministry when they wanted to make a woman look bad, feel bad, put her down, they'd say, "Oh, she's probably a lesbian." Okay? She's probably a lesbian. And all the women who stood up for themselves were like, first of all, I'm not. Or if I am, what's that to you? And so over time, because women stood up, that stopped being said as much. Dr. Wallace says, yeah, they were labeling. They were labeling. But the intent was the same as what I'm seeing this current regime do. The intent is to silence. And it's to silence anyone else who gets the same idea and wants to stand up. Okay? But we need to be clear. We need to be clear about this labeling and not speaking about facts and attacking people's character. And acting like we don't care what the facts were, but a woman does not become hysterical, a church troublemaker, someone who stands against God or worse, just because we don't want to deal with the facts and we think that we can handle the situation by labeling. Okay? Make sure that you don't do that when a woman expresses that she has been harmed by the church, or anyone expresses that they've been harmed by the church. What else did we learn? I hope we learned. We learned that We practice too often situational ethics. Situational ethics. The post by Marvin Sapp that, it's a year old, but it's surfaced again. And we still had people who said no matter what, they were just going to support him. They were just going to support him. Men, like I said, sometimes joined by women, can harm women all day in the church, and we will find a way to defend the men. We will find a way. We will turn and twist that situation so that the men are protected. Okay? Or we do things like say, don't put your mouth on the man of God. Don't attack the church, or all have sinned. If we know they're really wrong, that's what we come down. We just say all have sinned, right? Be consistent. Be consistent. Don't let your ethics operate situationally. Be consistent. Do not put forth one way of viewing bad behavior for men and establish another way for women. Okay. What's next with this matter? I don't know. I do not know. She might decide to appeal. That's her legal right. But again, if you're tired of it, because certainly, none of us are wishing that clergy would be harmed and that churches would be in pain in court. Nobody's wishing any of that. I'm just telling you, whatever is going to happen next, make sure we don't make the same mistakes. Whether it's this situation or another person who sues the church. All right? All right. Next, I want to ask the question, Potpourri Monday. Potpourri Monday. Are you still resisting? Are you still resisting? And I know many people are. How are you doing it? How are you doing it? What does your resistance look like? Your methods may help someone else. So it's okay if you put them in the chat. I also know that just as they did during the civil rights movement and the women's movement, too many people are lying. They're lying and pretending they are resisting, and they're just wasting time and arguing on Facebook and Instagram. Dr. King only had a handful of people who were with him until he died. And then everybody, okay, was part of the civil rights movement. How are you resisting? How are you resisting? Some say that rest is resistance. That's true. How is that going for you? What are you doing to maintain a schedule of rest? Let me know. You can put that in the chat. We've had about 25, let's see, this is April. We've had about 25 conferences around the country this year. And at a moment where we can't be doing business as usual, please place in the chat any resistance education information that you have, that you've got from any conference you attended. Please place that in the chat whenever you watch this, okay? Post that. So other than take care of yourself and rest and believe God is on our side, if you honestly want to resist and don't know how, it's okay to say that, at least to yourself. At least say it to yourself. The truth will set you free. Now, here are some easy In some cases, not all of these are easy. But here's some methods that people are using to resist. At some point, no matter how much we do, no matter how much we talk, praxis matters. Praxis matters. The rubber has to hit the road. Okay? Here's some things you can do. Number one, help people figure out their Social Security benefits. Okay? You can do that. Call Legal Aid for Seniors. They'll help you, especially if you're a lawyer. Or if you've worked in law offices, or if you understand Social Security benefits. Okay? Call them and ask them, how can you help? That's a serious need around the country. To create a preachers group that focuses on resistance sermons. These thin sermons are not going to get us through, okay? Especially the sermons that are just mainly focused on performance. We've got to do some praxis work. Work with like-minded people, and they will also help you increase your resistance vision. That's what will happen. Get in a group that understands how to do resistance preaching. Okay, there are all kinds of groups out there. You can start one, join one, etc. But these thin, performative sermons with 10 shout cues in them, and that's the whole sermon. It's shout cues. It's shout cues. Okay, it's shout cues. Has God brought you through? Shout cue number one. Okay. Has God made your haters your elevators? Shout cue number two. All right. Is there anybody in here who wants to give God some praise? Shout cue the next one. Okay. Make sure that you join a group that's doing more than performative preaching, especially for young preachers or new preachers. Something else you can do is clean a neighbor's house. And you can take kids to help you do that. There are people who not only need the help, they need the companionship. They are terribly lonely. They are terribly lonely. Okay. Just clean someone's house. You know, you're hanging out with them. You just need to do that. Cook a neighbor a meal. A lot of you can do this. So many people are barely holding on when it comes to food and sustenance. Yet many of us have extra food and we throw it out. I am known. I've lived in the same complex for 9 years, and I am known for giving food to young people in my complex. I don't live with anybody, but almost all of them have roommates because they're struggling to make it. And I know that I'm only going to eat one day, maybe two, of a whole pot of spaghetti. Why not make food and give it to a neighbor? I mean, how much macaroni and cheese and lasagna can you eat? Do that. Do that. Nothing tied to it except helping people to make it another day and showing the love of God. Help a child with their homework. A lot of you can do this too. Many parents either do not have the capacity or the energy to do this. They really don't. If you are good in an area, you're good in English, you're good in math, you're good in the sciences, you're good in history, let them post that on the church chat. Post it in your bulletin. Post it on Facebook. Post it on Instagram. Help some kids with their homework. They really, really do need it. Our kids are behind, and we know this, in reading, writing, and arithmetic. And the scores for our kids around the country just went down again. And now they are destroying as much as they can the Department of Education. And our kids, you know who's going to suffer first and suffer most. Offer to help some kids with their homework. Okay? Please offer to help some kids with their homework. And then, and here is a big one, if you can do it, foster a child. Become a foster parent. Children don't have to be lost in the numbers that we're losing them into this country, because there are some of you who have the capacity to foster a child. And maybe, for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, just do what you can. That is a big one, and it's so needed, especially since this regime is also taking away funding from so many of the programs that serve foster children and the agencies. They're taking that funding away, whether and some of it's Medicare funding. So the kids will have less health care, especially children with special needs, children on the autism spectrum. Children need help. Children, foster a child. Also, as a part of resistance, I'm talking about the things that you can do, just ideas. And if you have ideas, like I said, put them in the chat. Just put them in the chat so that people can see them. In terms of preach about solutions. Preach about solutions. Everybody can name the crime. Everybody can name the pain. What they can't do is name solutions. And if you can't do it either, join a group that can. Okay? Finally, and perhaps most importantly, join a group that's already fighting the fight. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay? You know the groups that are fighting the fight. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund. The Legal Defense Fund they are killing it. Okay? You can support them. Win with Black women. They are working overtime with a shoestring budget. Ask them, and they can give you a list of maybe 25, 30. We saw that marathon, Black organizations who spoke about the current crisis. Win with Black women can give you a list of 20, 30 organizations that you can support or join and help with the fight. You don't have to, like I said, reinvent the wheel. Abolitionist Sanctuary, led by Reverend Dr. Nakia Robert, okay? They're working on so many anti-incarceration and anti-gun initiatives. You can support them. And then any good voting rights group, any of them, anybody that's doing good work with voting rights, make phone calls for them, stuff letters for them, send them $10 a month. Anything you can do to help voting rights, because that's what they're really coming for. Also, as a part of resistance, get you a motto. That's right, get a motto. This is going to be 3 or 4 years. Get a motto and live by it. I asked, what's your resistance motto? And there were 2 that stuck out to me. Reverend Marco Fields says, don't just scroll, organize. Don't just post, mobilize. The revolution will not refresh itself. I like that. And then Reverend Tricia Dixon said, decolonize the faith or die trying. Now, you know that one that's the nail on the head. Decolonize the faith or die trying. I also want to give you a bit of a resistance vocabulary. That's right. Let's do a bit of vocabulary, okay? A bit of vocabulary, because I don't think that we always have the words, always have the words for these moments. So let's do some vocabulary. Number one, voting. Voting. The word is voting. That is what so much of what this regime is trying to harm. They're using sleight of hand to make us look over there while they steal voting rights. They are verging voter rolls any way they can. I think there's something called, what is it, HR 22. I might have that wrong. Somebody correct me. But this one says that a woman can't vote if her birth certificate does not match all of her other documents. So for women who took their husband's last names, they can be purged from voter rolls unless they go through an extensive process, bring in lots of documents just to continue to vote. Okay? That's what this is all about. They are purging. It's not all about this, but this is a big part of it. They're purging voter rolls. Stacey Abrams here in Georgia called this out a decade ago. And now they are working in hyperdrive, hyperspeed to do just that. They see the future. And guess what? The future is not white. It's not white. And they're doing everything they can to make sure that people in the future have a difficult time voting if they can vote at all. That's also what a lot of these abduction, so-called deportation steps are about. If I revoke your visa, you can't become a citizen, okay? You won't ever get the chance to vote. Some other words to know. MAGA. The 47 says that the MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. But since that's not happening and didn't happen in his first term, I use the term maggots. Maggots. What's a maggot? One definition says it's a soft-bodied, legless larva found in decaying matter. Okay? Do I have to spell out how the old, only white men allowed playbook is decaying and harming this country? That's why I say it's a maggot playbook. We simply have to believe that it's decaying the country and keep resisting. Next word is autocracy. Autocracy. An autocracy is a system of government by one person with absolute power. Never, ever, ever believe that any one person, no matter their title, should have absolute power over all people. No one. But that's what an autocracy means. The next word is broligarch. Broligarch. This is the name that has been given to the white men who comprise an autocracy. They all work toward a common goal, and there are even some black men who want to be white who are a part of this. In the case of this country, they're working toward one goal, and the goal is to ruin this country and get rich doing it. Not just ruin it, but also to get rich. Ultimately, their goal is to take the country back to a time when white supremacy was a given. When white men without much intellect, without hard work, were just in charge just because they were white. They took what they wanted through laws and by might, and they're doing it again. They are doing it again. Okay. The next word is oligarchy. Oligarchy. That is a small group of people having control over a country, organization, or an institution. That is also our present state. 47, Elon Musk, the Doge boys, and a handful of others. They form an oligarchy. Okay. The next word is boycotting. Yes, we are still boycotting. Don't let these companies off the hook. We did a great job with Target and stay on them. You don't have any reason to go into a Target. There are too many other places you can go. So we are still boycotting. Boycott when you want to, but make sure you boycott. Don't act like you forgot. Walmart, we're still boycotting. Amazon, which has about 10 parts, at least boycott some parts of it. Do something, okay? Whole Foods, you all know, boycott some of it. Amazon Prime, boycott some of it. The Washington Post, take your subscription back. Do what you can. General Mills, we're still boycotting. Delta, we are boycotting. Okay. And I see that Dr. Wallace has a list. April 7th to the 13th, Walmart blackout. April 18th, just an economic blackout. No spending for a full day. April 21st through the 27th, the General Mills blackout. Okay. So again, just do what you can. But we are boycotting for the next 3 or 4 years at a minimum. We are going to take down some of these we don't want your kind companies. Okay. Next word is allies. Allies. People who do not vote to harm you and do more than march to help save you and your rights. Those are allies. Okay. We can now see that there are universities and white folk and black folk who are not allies for black, brown, Muslim, and other people, and their universities who are not allies for students. They're more concerned about the bottom line dollar than they are education and the safety of students. They are not allies. Allies are people who do not harm you, and they act to make sure that you are safe and that your rights are upheld. Next word is survival. Survival. Being alive and having the means and the desire to live another day and fight another day. Some days, just pat yourself on the back because you survived. There was so much that could have taken you out, but you survived. You survived. That's no small matter. That's no small matter. The last word I did want to say, next to the last word, is hope. Hope. This is one of the most powerful words in our resistance vocabulary. With hope, we see the morning long before it arrives. With hope, we fight on when they say we cannot win. With hope, giants still fall. Hope and faith operate in tandem. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Hold on to hope. No matter what they take from you, don't give them that. Dr. King said, all progress made in the world is made by hope. And even when your hope is dashed, just steady yourself, okay? And find some new hope to keep on going. Whatever they take from you, don't give them that. And I can't decide if the last vocabulary word, I've got 3 or 4 here and I'm running out of time, should be the markets. But I think I'll let you all give attention to uh, the markets, the markets. And by that, I mean the stock market, the bond market, commodities markets, where, you sell agricultural goods. Um, and of course, there's the foreign exchange market. Most of us don't have stocks, bonds, but we do have 401ks. And we know that the market is up and down and being harmed. Okay. And don't ignore that. It's not a small thing. Even for those who do not have 401ks or money in the market still impacts you. It still impacts you. Okay. Two last words. The next word is abducted, or disappeared. That's right. That was a word coined by, I think it was a Latin American theologian. Disappeared, relative to people being abducted. Okay. These are the right terms to use when people are snatched off the streets without any due process. They are not being deported. They are being abducted and disappeared. And there's so many ways that they are doing this. Don't ignore that either. Just because you say those people don't look like me. A lot of the Haitians that they are deporting, they do look like you. But it should matter regardless, because the more rights that they take away from anybody, the more rights they're taking away from everybody. Okay, so these abductions and this disappearing of people matters. It all matters. All right. That's it for today, for Potpourri Monday. That's it. I hope you all have a good week. And thank you for hitting my Cash App. I am an independent scholar. So I appreciate the support. I bring you great guests throughout the week, and your support helps me. It helps me get people some of the research that I do, and it also helps me pay guests as often as possible. So thank you for hitting my Cash App, whether you're watching this today or you're watching the replay or you're watching on YouTube. It's, what is it? $ love my work 123. I'll see you all after Easter with my next broadcast. I am working on 2 books, so I'm going to take a little bit of time off. Last but not least, share this video. And it's also on YouTube. Share the video. Someone may be helped. God bless. Have a great week.